activity, but don't worry, we're still gonna have some fun. Just to tell you a little bit about myself. First and foremost, I'm grateful to be here. I couldn't have imagined any of this. Being the first one in my family to graduate from high school and go to college, I had no idea what to expect when I got to Brockport. Never thought I would become the president of my own club. I was the president of the Brockport Public Relations Club. We were probably the greatest club in the history of Brockport, if you guys haven't heard about it before. All right? 2008, 2009, of course, Club of the Year. That was just an incredible team that I got to work with. So a lot of my leadership experience I'll be sharing, I'll be referring back to my experience with the club. And can everyone see? Okay, good. I don't want to be in the way. I also didn't think that I would have the opportunity to study abroad. During my junior year, I got to go to Ghana. And a little bit later, I'll talk about how having an international experience can really assist you in your leadership development. But last but not least, as China alluded to, my current job. I did not think that my first professional job, when I graduated from here at 22 years old, was going to be working at the college as an admissions advisor, where I get to travel across the state of New York, talk to high school students, talk to families, talk to counselors. I pretty much get to share my experience at Brockport for a living, and I love it. But through my job, not only that, but I love the fact that I get to assist students and kind of helping them find the college that's the fit for them, so it's very rewarding. But through my job, I'm able to get involved with students and student development in a lot of different capacities. I'm the advisor for a club, the Summit, here on campus. I'm also a mentor for 2 students in the leadership development program, and I'm also a member of Rochester's Young Professionals. So in all these different capacities, I'm able to have influence, which is a really key aspect of leadership. Perfect segue here. So today, we're going to talk about a couple things. For those of you in the back, can you see the presentation, by the way? Good? All right. So we're going to talk about 2 things. First, we're going to talk about some skills that I believe will kind of assist you in furthering your own leadership development. But also, we're going to talk about different opportunities that you can take advantage of here at the college that I will believe that will really serve as a great resource for you to kind of further develop your leadership skills, all right? But also your professional skills, because I'm equally as persistent about you all developing on a leadership, but also a professional level, because that will assist you in your transition after you graduate. So, first we're going to just talk about and have more of a conversation just about leadership and understanding the importance of it. Let me take a quick pulse in the room. How many of you are involved in student government? A couple? 2. How many of you are RAs here on campus? Wow, you guys are all deep. Man, all right. Campus life? Okay, there you go. Rec service? Anyone involved in rec service? 1. Clubs and organizations? Nice. There we go, very active. Sororities and fraternities? Okay, in the back. What fraternity? What fraternity? You're not in one? All right, jumps on me. My favorite group, how many of you are athletes? Okay, retired athletes, high school accounts. There we go, all right. Just for the sake of me making this point here. Good, good, good. Okay, so it's fair for me to assume then that everyone understands the value and the importance of leadership. Because if you think about it, leadership is a process. It's a series of actions, changes, or functions, bringing about a result by which one person influences the thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors of others. In everyone's different capacities or roles, you understand that effective leadership is what enables, say, the president of a club to bring all their club members together to put on successful programs throughout the year. Effective leadership is what enables the president of the student government to get their board members together to implement whatever the vision is or the direction is for that year. For those of you with a sports background, you understand that effective leadership is essentially what enables a coach or the captain of a team to bring together all those different personalities, all those different individuals together under one shared goal. So you all understand the importance of it. But leadership does come with a price, right? Think about your different roles that you face. There's a lot of stresses and challenges and responsibilities that comes along with them. So, let me kind of ask you, those of you who are RAs, let me ask you this. What are some of the challenges or sacrifices that you have to make in being an RA that another student really doesn't have to worry about? Come on, you guys, there's like 18 of you guys here. So. Anyone want to share?
Social life.
Social life, thank you. You pretty much are forfeiting your social experience at the expense of getting students to see them kind of have fun with theirs, right? Those of you who are involved in student government, what are some of the pressures you guys face, the 2 of you? Being involved in student government. I mean, isn't essentially your job to please the whole student body?
Trying to.
Which is down near impossible. For those of you who are involved in clubs, maybe the president, if a PO doesn't get filled out, if a room reserve doesn't get turned in, or an event is a failure, who does that fall on? Exactly, right? A lot of stress that comes with it. So it's kind of like, why take on those challenges and those stresses when you can easily, why be the driver when you can easily be the passenger and kind of enjoy the ride. So essentially, to be a leader or to take a leadership role means to take the road less traveled. So I ask of you, I'm going to ask you this question: why have all of you decided to take the road less traveled, to take on those challenges and those different stresses that come with your position? Because for me, the reason I wanted to be a leader is because I wanted to have some influence in this world and on this campus. I really wanted to, use my influence to create some positive and meaningful change. I wanted to aid in energizing others to go out there and create some positive and meaningful change, whether it was for themselves, for the community, for others. I wanted to aid in helping create that. So I ask all of you, why have some of you decided to take on a leadership role? Come on, we're a family. I'll go China then.
I personally took on the role of being a resident assistant because I really do feel like it's one of my roles that if you could change one person, you could change the world. Like that one person you change, that's the world to them. So if I could be a source of inspiration or just a listening ear for one person, then I feel like if I could make that mark on campus, then that was good enough for me.
Yourself? You have your hand up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta share. We're family in here, so.
I was gonna say I like to challenge myself. I never like to be comfortable and be completely satisfied with where I'm at.
Mhm.
And I had a great RA, so I wanted to give that experience to someone else.
Jerry, in the back.
Because I wanted a role that he liked me. And if I didn't say anything, somebody would look and that would affect my legacy. And that's my legacy as if I change one person's life, then I'm closer to what I want to be when I grow up.
I'll let you two first on that. Nicole.
For me, I didn't choose to be a leader. Like, it just happened. You kind of just step up in certain areas you need to, or people just follow you because you have the most experience or you know what you're doing or know what you're saying. So me developing into a leader, I wanted to because I just have those qualities. And if people would like to follow me and if I'm good at doing something, use it or else you lose it. So.
Got it. And you?
For me, it's like, I believe in order to grow, you can't stay in the same spot. So I got, and I'm still involved in a bunch of stuff for me to grow, as well as my club members and my peers.
Got it. Thank you all for sharing. I think essentially what separates all of us in here, really, I guess what bonds all of us in here that are seeking to become more effective leaders, or seeking to, take on leadership roles, whether it's here at the college or down the road in the future, is that we all want to leave a legacy. We all want to, instead of being ordinary, we want to do something and become something extraordinary. You all know that by taking on these roles, that something extraordinary lies on the other side of that road. So that you want to kind of serve as an inspiration for others to follow. You want to use your gifts, your talents, your influence, your drive to not only have an impact on this campus, but you could really use that to have an impact on the world outside this campus because all of you are capable of doing that. I know the age-old question remains whether leaders are born or leaders made. So let me ask you about this. How many of you think leaders are made? Show of hands here. Wow. How many of you think leaders are born? Okay. I'm going to take the cheap way out. I think it's a little bit of both. Anyone else think it's both? All right, there we go. Because listen, there are some inborn qualities that we all have. Some of us are more assertive than others. Some of us are more risk taker than others. Some of us are more extrovert than introvert. But none of us are born to be this kid. Tommy Pickles, okay? That is a natural born leader. Now, I grew up on 90s cartoons. He was a natural born leader. I idolize Tommy Pickles, all right? But none of us grow to be him necessarily or come out being him. Instead, we all have raw materials inside of us that need to be shaped, that need to be developed, that need to be honed. And that's kind of the purpose of today in this conference is to provide you with opportunities and the kind of food for thought to help you in your further development. So with that said, we go to our first video. If this thing works, we'll go to our, here we go. All right.
Let them play. It's a physical game. A monster jam by Blake Griffin. Oh, what a play by Blake. Is it possible to top what he did last year? Almost a Mozgov. It's better than a Mozgov. I didn't think it was possible to top it. Look at that play. That's great. Oh, my goodness.
I'm a huge sport and stuff, so you guys are going to bear with some of our sports clips today. Now, all right, Ryan, where's the show some sports? Because today I'm going to kind of show you guys effective leadership using kind of basketball as my reference, all right? Called the triangle offensive leadership. So how many of you are fans of sports, by the way, here? Yes, all right, you guys are going to have some fun and some of the things we're going to see. First, we're going to start by working the offense around yourself and how you establish yourself to be effective, okay? Then, we're going to explore your relationship with others and how you can become more effective in your relationship with others that you work with. And then finally, we're going to kind of work the ball right back around to you and talk about opportunities that you can take advantage of, all right? So let's play ball here. So first, you have to, in order to be effective, you have to really establish yourself. And it's crucial for you to establish not only your vision, but also your values for yourself and for your organization. Because remember, your club members or your organization, they're going to be looking at you for guidance, for direction. So by you setting that foundation of principles, that's really going to aid you in giving you something to always fall back on and guide and make decisions. So for the PR Club, I created my 3 E's. If you didn't notice, I got a little something for E's here. I didn't want to be a president where we were just doing, events to just do events. I wanted to make sure everything had a purpose. Have any of you ever been a part of a club that just did events and you were just like, what the heck is the purpose of us doing this? It has no match. Okay, a couple of you had. First, I wanted to educate. So as president, I wanted to make sure that I educated my club members on what public relations was. I wanted them to see that it's more than just journalism. It's more than just writing a press release. It's social media. It's marketing. It's promotion. There's a lot of different aspects of PR, and I wanted to make sure we educated our club members on understanding that. And down the road, I'll show you how we did that, and we kind of had a little fun with it. Next, expose. I wanted to expose my club members to opportunities within the field of public relations, where you can do PR in sports, you can do it in corporate, you can do it in government. What I do is it's a form of PR. I promote the college. It's a fun way to do it. So I wanted to expose them to opportunities within the field. So we went to conferences, we went to luncheons, we brought in alumni back to share their experience. And then finally, for me, the most important aspect of it was I wanted to empower. I wanted to provide my club members with opportunities that would help them and that would give them skills that would be beneficial to them when they're going into like a job interview. And how we accomplished that was through one of the special events that we planned. It's a big one. We did what's called the Buffalo Sabres versus the Brockport faculty and staff alumni game here at the college. How many of you are seniors again? Okay, you vaguely may remember this. This would have been your freshman year. One day I was at home in Lockport watching TV, and my old high school faculty and staff was playing against the Buffalo Sabres alumni team. And for those of you not familiar with the Buffalo Sabres, they're a professional hockey team, NHL hockey team, and their retired players have this organization where they do a lot of community service in the Western New York area. So I saw them on TV, and I was like, wow, that'd be really cool to do here at Brockport. So I pitched the idea to my club, and that's what we went and did. Everyone was like all hands in on it. So 2 years in a row, we hosted this charity game here where the students got to vote on the faculty and staff. We had like a student government vice president. I don't know if any of you remember the lunch lady. She always just say, hey, buddy. She played in the game. So some of the professors, students all voted on that. It was great because, local news came out. It was open to the public, so we had a lot of kids coming out to the event as well. But the best part about this event was that it was all student run. We put on this program. From planning it, to marketing it, to fundraising. We raised $1,000 for the American Cancer Society. We had an autograph session. So everyone who was a part of this event walked away with experiences that they could go forward with in, say, a job interview. And that was the benefit of, like I say, giving our club members opportunities to kind of empower themselves. Now, another aspect of establishing yourself is I want you to understand your strengths and weaknesses and become comfortable with the uncomfortable. So let's talk about your strengths and your weaknesses. When you understand your strengths and your weaknesses, you're able to form opportunities that operate within your strengths, but then also you can use your weakness as an opportunity to really maximize your effectiveness as a leader, because then you can incorporate your team. When we talk about your strengths, those things that you feel confident in. For myself, I was confident in doing what I'm doing today, standing in front of a group talking. And what that allowed me to do as a student leader was to go and give like classroom presentations to promote our club. And I was served as like kind of Mr. PR, because we wanted to really recruit students to join our club so that we could put on this program. And we ended up going from a club of like 6 members to a club of over 30, as you can see in the pictures there. So I really encourage you, think about your strengths, those things, those gifts, those talents that you really feel confident in. Some of you are maybe really good at interacting with others. Some of you maybe are very artistic. Some of you are maybe really good at planning small details. So find opportunities when you can to operate within those. But I want you to understand your strengths, because real effectiveness comes when you understand your strengths. Case in point, Oprah. Oprah became very successful because of her willingness to share her weakness, or one of her weaknesses. Does anyone know what weakness that was, or one of her weaknesses?
Weight
Say that again?
loss. Weight loss.
You're on the right track there. Very nice. Wait for it. Wait for it. Food. Now, not Mighty Taco. I'm sure she probably would love Mighty Taco like anyone else. But Oprah shared her willingness, or her weakness of her struggles with her weight. And when she did that, a lot of people really began to kind of take to her and became attracted to her because of that. She built, $1 billion, now she has her own network. Now, I'm not saying that you could all become millionaires and billionaires off of your weakness, but when you understand your weakness, you're empowering yourself, because then you can adapt and you can, really make changes to manage your weakness while still remaining effective. So for myself, I've kind of came up with, over time, some of my weaknesses, and I'll just kind of share with you how I've learned to manage those. First and foremost, my indecisiveness, okay? I don't know if it's the Libra in me that makes me so indecisive, but I hate making decisions, all right? And so one of the things I had to do, or one of the ways I learned to manage it, is by creating values. Because when you create values, that gives you a foundation, like I said, to fall back on or to guide all of your decisions on as a leader. Second thing, Renaissance man. I don't know about any of you, but I get really excited about opportunities. So I want to try and I want to take on everything. But as a leader, that's a way to really make yourself ineffective. Because when you're taking on too much, you really can't be effective in what you do. So I've always kind of was told that someone gave me this great advice. Look at your time, look at your energy like a pie. There's only so many slices or ways you can cut the pie. But something that you might take on might require a larger slice of the pie. But if you only have a little bit to give, you're going to be very ineffective. So I always try to kind of think of things, well, whether it's going to be the best mix for me. Another aspect of this, too, is how many of you have been a part of a club, or maybe you've given someone a responsibility, and they've either dragged their feet with it or just didn't even get it done at all? Okay? And what does that make you feel? That makes you feel like, next time I'm just going to do it myself, right? Well, I've learned that if you're looking to build and strengthen your team, you can't carry on that mentality. So one of the ways I kind of incorporated this into our PR club was actually with how I started off our club meetings. Instead of me as president always running all the meetings, I kind of spread the ball a little bit. I would actually have my secretary start off every meetings, where she would kind of run down all the different announcements and things going on. Then my treasurer, she would give like a little financial report. Maybe we did some fundraising. Then my vice president would talk. She would actually cover a lot of like the programs and events we were doing. And then I would just kind of come in the end and give like updates on little things. And I did this for two reasons. First, it got everyone involved. But second, you might not want to hear me talk for an hour, unfortunately, like you have to do today. But you might listen to, my vice president who's your friend talk, or my secretary who's your friend talk. So it was kind of a way to keep everyone also engaged in terms of what we were doing as a club. And then the final weakness is conflict. Everyone always says, Justin, you're too nice. But listen, that's just me. I can't help it. So I hate when people put me in situations where I've got to be the bad guy. Part of my job is to be the bad guy. If a student's been denied, you get that phone call of a parent wanting to know, why their son or daughter was denied. But in our club, and remember this, as a leader, this comes with the territory. You're going to have to become, effective at managing conflict with others. One of the issues we ran into was when we were planning an event. It was called Stuff the Bus. Has anyone ever heard of Stuff the Bus? Okay, it's a charity event where they get a big yellow cheese bus, and then they pretty much stuff it with like goods and clothing and things of that nature, and then they donate all that to charity. Well, at our time, we had like one of our club members set this event up. It sounded really, simple. 10 people signed up for the event. Day of the event, only one person shows up. Me. Now, in my head, I was like, okay, do I say something? I mean, it's only, a community service event. Is it a really big deal? But you know what? I had to say something. You have to address that, because what I didn't want happening was everyone thinking it was okay to sign up for events and then not show up. Has anyone ever had that happen in their clubs before? Okay. So you know that if you don't address it, it's going to be an issue. You got to kind of nip it early, because I didn't want people thinking, okay, they can sign up for this big Sabres event we were planning, but then if they don't show up, we're not going to have a successful program. So this is how I addressed the team. Now, there's a couple ways I could have went about this. I could have addressed, people individually. I could have went on Facebook and been like, I hate when people don't show up for events in my status. Could have did that. Then everyone would have been asking me, are you talking about me? then I could have said no, and then I could have updated my status again and say, hey, I love when people think that I'm talking about them, right? I would have done that. But never do that. I know you guys know people do that all the time. Facebook's very entertaining. But instead, I addressed the whole team. And this is what I said, you guys can let me know how I did. I said, all right, well, I'm very disappointed because we had a lot of people sign up for the activity, but not a lot of people showed up. I want everyone to understand that the success of our team is built upon all of us, contributing to this together. It's not built upon one or two people. So, it's very important for people to understand when you sign up for activities or events, you're making a commitment to the team. And the team is depending on you. So if there's an event that's coming up and you feel that you may not be able to fulfill that obligation, feel free. Let me know, text me, call me, let me know to give us a heads up, so that as a team we can we can prepare for that. How did I do, you guys? Good? All right? All right. I hope I did. Because for the Sabres event, everyone showed up. I think the value in it all is when you emphasize team, you kind of leave the personal aspect out of it. I think it really helps you drive home the point a lot more. Because you're not disappointing me. No, you're disappointing the whole entire team. And also, just on another level, think about this. What sounds worse in court? Justin versus Nicole, or the state of New York versus Nicole Scholar? What sounds worse to hear, right? The state of New York again is kind of upset against you. So it's very important for you to always emphasize team in terms of dealing with conflict. Okay. Oh, and your weakness provides opportunity. I want you to understand something too about your weakness is that view it as a ball and chain, okay? It will hold you back, but only if you allow it. If you are aware of your weakness and you learn how to manage it, it makes it a lot lesser or a lot lighter of a load to carry going forward. Because some of your weaknesses you may not evolve out of. I'll always feel some sort of way whenever I have to deal with conflict. I'll always have my issues with being indecisive. But as long as I learn how to manage it, it's easier of a weakness to deal with going forward. Now, so we talked about establishing yourself. Next, we're going to talk about your relationship with others. Would you guys like to see a video? All right, let's do it. Here we go.
5, 4, win for the win!
Can you guys see in the back? All right, good.
That's right. Insanity! At the ACC, talk about a young man with the ice in the veins.
All right. That guy is a sensation, right? That was nice to kind of break it up with a little video. So now, we're going to move on to your relationship with others. Because I want you all to understand something. Your greatest resource in terms of your success is other people. So you have to value others, your team. You have to value their thoughts, their ideas, their opinions. So let me just share with you a couple tips here. It's very important for you to get to know your team. Get to know their interests, get to know their strengths, get to know their personality. Because what that will allow you to do as a leader, it will allow you to, start to think of, okay, what are some opportunities that we could kind of get this club member involved? But also, you can find out whether or not their strengths complement your weakness. Because I'm not very artistic, but if I know one of my club members is very good at making things, I can kind of rely upon them for that weakness, because I know it complements, or that strength because it complements my weakness. That's a way to strengthen your team. One of the things I used to do is, I used to go to club meetings early, just so that I could have the opportunity to talk to some of my newer club members. Because I always wanted them to understand that, this is a team thing. Because I'm a senior and you're a freshman, or because I'm the president and you're, a first semester club member, your thoughts, your ideas, your input is just as valuable as mine. And then also provide opportunities for ownership within your club. People like to make, or feel that they're making meaningful contributions towards something. So that's really a way to kind of empower your team, is by providing people with those opportunities to, be more involved. Some of the ways we did this. First, we'll talk about PR News of the Week. One of the aspects of our club, as I said earlier, was I valued educating our club members on public relations. So what I did was, each week we would have something called PR News of the Week, where we would all present on like a newsworthy topic in front of the group. So I did it the first week, then my vice president will go, then our secretary, then our treasurer. But then we turn the ball over to our club members. So it was a great way for us to get everyone involved because essentially we were all educating each other on something, but it was incorporating the whole team. The next aspect of getting kind of everyone involved involved service, because a lot of our club members were very interested in service. And so we easily, as officers, we could have planned a service activity, but that was a great opportunity for us to get our club members involved, to help them, to kind of give them an opportunity to be empowered by giving the opportunity to plan an event. So K&K down here, Kristen and Kathleen, they planned our Ronald McDonald House visit. We did 2 Ronald McDonald House visits where we went to go serve breakfast to the families of the kids who stay in local area hospitals. Then we also had like a diabetes walk and some things of that nature that some of our other club members planned. So it was great because we were all doing something positive, but at the same time strengthening our team because everyone was feeling kind of involved. Does anyone know any of these people? Some of them just graduated. I don't know if you guys know Emily or Bree or Megan and Mo. All right, camaraderie. The 2 factors most associated with inspiring leaders is the constant expression of encouragement, but also gratitude towards others. You have to recognize your team, because you got to remember, you can't do it all. So you have to, make sure that you are recognizing your team and making people feel appreciated. Because people will work hard for you when you give them a pat on their back, just as if you were giving them a check, So make sure that you recognize people for their contributions and things that they're doing. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to go create a sticker chart or anything like that nature, but these are just some ideas. One of the things that I did was, I would notice a lot of my club members were take note of things they were doing outside the club. Maybe they were being, honored in front of an honor society, or maybe they had an internship or something of that nature. And we would always kind of make sure to make note of that in front of everyone, so that they know, like, hey, this is something positive that this person's doing. Another thing is we did certificates. Do you guys remember grade school Student of the Month? Did everyone have that at high school? And you would get a certificate and you'd make a little badge. We brought that back. For our club, everyone got our certificate at the end of the year for something that they did, whether it was planning an event, being a part of a committee, even perfect attendance. We were just given little certificates. It was something to be lighthearted, but to also help us build camaraderie in our group. We did PR club, bowling. We also did a potluck where at the end of every semester, everyone would bring in a dish to pass around for like a nice family celebration for all of us. And then finally, as president, everyone was working so hard on the Sabres event. I mean, this was like a full-time job of a project. So one day I just treated the whole club to pizza. Just like, hey, come to the club meeting, dinner's on me. So when you do things of that nature to recognize your team and to recognize the things that they're doing, it really goes a long way. It shows people that you appreciate the hard work they're putting in. Question, has anyone done any things of this kind of nature, maybe wants to share some ideas that they've kind of taken upon in terms of getting people involved in their club, or ways that they've kind of shown encouragement or appreciation?
For CSA, we're now trying a point system. So the more events you come to, the more you get involved, even volunteer work you do outside, you get a certain amount of points for each. The more points you get, the better your reward is. So platinum member, gold member, bronze member.
Oh, you guys get your little Marriott points on them. Nice, very nice. China, go with that.
This isn't in a club, but last semester around final time when everyone's stressed, I personally took it upon myself to write a little thank you letter on a little note card to all of my members and my staff, telling them how they may have helped me or, congratulating them on something they did. It's just like a little thing to let them know that I'm thinking about them and, even when they're stressing out, like, I appreciate their contribution to the staff. So I did that and it was really nice. So.
Good stuff. In the back, Jess?
We have something similar going on with our RA staff. We have little gold stars in our office, and whenever anyone does something like really good, or if they just need like pick me up, you write a little note to them on the star, put it on our bulletin board, and then they'll see it the next time they walk into the office.
Jay?
Every basketball team was given a thank you card and certificate, and every given a certificate and thank you card and this card thanks for coming. So I bring me to SMU, and the kid is open to everybody at the meeting. And when I run the meeting, if when I do something else, I'm like, okay, girl, we're about to do that, and how that works out. Like for the president, you don't feel like I'm doing everything, you are part of it.
Nice. Anyone else? Remember, recognize your team because you can't do it alone at the end of the day. Now, home run stretch here. So we talked about establishing yourself, then kind of covered just some points in terms of your relationship with others. Next, we're going to work right back around to the most important factor in this equation, yourself. But first, guess what? We got a video. One more. Probably my favorite, too. Because I don't like Tom Brady, I'm a Bills fan. We're going to just start it from the beginning here. There we go. All right. Watching Tom Brady suffer and lose Super Bowls, I'm telling you, it brings a smile to my face. So, all right. Any Bills fans in here? There we go. Good. All right. Now, so, I want you all to understand the importance of investing in yourself, okay? Because as growing leaders, as you all are seeking to become more effective, I can't stress the importance that it is in order to be in being selfish in terms of taking advantage of opportunities to further your own development, okay? The kind of way I want you to look at it is kind of like an athlete does. When an athlete wants to kind of take their performance to a next level, they kind of push themselves more. Leadership is your new sport, so make sure you're taking advantage of opportunities to kind of renew yourself regularly to kind of push and further your development along. So here are just a couple just tips and resources that I could share that are available to you right here on campus. First and foremost, the opportunity to study abroad. One of the golden opportunities you have here at the college is taking advantage of the opportunity to study abroad. We have one of the largest study abroad programs, not only in the SUNY system, but in the country. We go to any continent. And the value of studying abroad, it will serve you many times over as a leader. Because A, you're going to gain not only a greater perspective of the world, but also others. Trust me, you are going to become so much more effective at communicating with others because you're going to have gained, an understanding, but also an appreciation of the differences that we all have. I had the opportunity to go to Ghana my junior year, and I learned so much just by stepping outside of kind of, the bubble that we have here in the U.S. And when you become a global citizen, just as a kind of professional level, it also makes you kind of more marketable and more, because you're culturally savvy, which is not something that everyone is. So it's something really I encourage you all to take advantage of here while you're a student. Show of hands, how many of you in here have studied abroad? Okay, good. Anyone want to kind of say anything about their experience of how it's kind of benefited them personally or as a leader or professionally? Crickets. Well, for me, I'll just tell you about my experience. As on a personal level, I became a lot more self-confident because you're outside of your comfort zone. I never really have been outside of the state much. And you become so much more kind of self-reliant on yourself because then you learn, hey, if I can make it out here in Africa, you feel like you can make it anywhere. So it's definitely an experience that I encourage you all to take advantage of. Next, I can't stress the importance of making sure that you're building relationships with faculty, staff, your fellow classmates, and alumni, because those relationships are really going to be beneficial to you. So I really encourage you all to find mentors and really build your network here, because those mentors, they're going to be able to provide you with experience, with knowledge, with insight that will, help further your development along. Not to mention, when there are times where you have questions or you're kind of, struggling, they can provide you with clarity, but also perspective. Okay? All right, here's just a couple others that I'm going to run down here. Feedback. Feedback is a tremendous learning tool that will aid you tremendously in the future. Now let's be honest, who wants to hear criticism about themselves? I'm sure no one does. But if you really think about it, most of the criticism that you're going to hear is stuff you already know, right? I'm going to assume. So sometimes you just got to push yourself to accepting that. And maybe hearing it from someone else will kind of, spark you to correct that behavior or to manage it more closely. Because, at the end of the day, you're all here to help the cause. You're all here to become more effective and better leaders. So anything that can aid your development, take advantage of it. One of the things that I did for with the PR club, and I even do this now as a professional, is I go around to those who I've worked close with, and I actually had them fill out a form for me of, well, hey, what are 3 things that I did well? What are 3 things or areas that I can improve upon? And I mean, for me, it was beneficial because, yeah, I know I get a little sporadic at times. I know that. So it's kind of good, I guess, hearing it from someone else, so I know, okay, this is something I have to manage. Your mentors are going to be great resources for you in terms of getting feedback, because you know that they're also going to give you honest feedback as well. Conferences and workshops. As a student, I used to review conferences, honestly, only as an opportunity to dress up and eat free food. That was it, you know? But there's such a greater purpose to them because it's all about expanding your knowledge. Any opportunities that you could take advantage of to expose yourself to more knowledge, whether it's presentations, conferences, workshops, take advantage of that because that is going to provide you with more resources, insight, and tools that you can incorporate into your own style. Not to mention this, here at the school we have a travel grant. So if there's conferences outside of New York that you guys want to go to, there's money that you could apply for as a student that will help you to fund that. So it's something really to take advantage of. I wish I took advantage of that when I was a student. Plus, conferences serve as great opportunities for you to really build your network because you're meeting new people. So keep that in mind. And finally, exploring your passions and interests. I want you to understand something. College gives you all 4 years, in my case 5, but who's counting, to step outside your comfort zone, to really invest in your development. Take advantage of that because you don't get that time back. So, you know, if there's things that you've always wanted to do, become the president of a club, run for, you know, a student government position, if there's an event or an idea that you have kind of rolling around in your mind that you want to make a reality, this is the time, this is the place to do it. You know, even if you make some mistakes along the way, this is kind of your training ground to make those mistakes. So take advantage of that. And I really encourage you all to, you know, step outside your comfort zone because when you do that, it leads to growth. And that is a growth that cannot be stunted, okay? All right, let's find little pictures here. I want you all to understand something. No matter how smart you are or how accomplished you feel you have become as a leader, remember, there's always more opportunity and room for growth. Because leadership is kind of like a journey, and it's going to require constant sharpening and constant, investment in yourself in order to, not only become effective, but to remain effective. So just keep in mind some of the things that I kind of passed along to you, making sure that you're aware that in order to have influence, you have to understand first in order to be understood. So make sure that you understand yourself and you establish your vision and your values for your organization. Make sure that you're building genuine relationships with, your club members and others within your organization. And then, remember, it's all about constantly just pushing yourself. So take advantage of opportunities to renew yourself regularly. Because at the end of the day, you all are seeking to have influence, or someday you want to go out there and you want to do something extraordinary in the world. And there's my group right there being presented our title, Club of the Year. That is it for me. I'd like to thank you all for your time. Any questions that you have, feel free to ask. Please, if you have any questions, remember, I'm a resource for all of you. So I live right next door in Rakoff. We have an internship program in our office that I also want to make you guys aware of. It's called the Student Ambassadors Internship Program. Angela's actually one of our student directors in China as well. And Yoshika. Who else is? Anyone else missing? And Vail. Couldn't forget. Where pretty much we use our current students to serve as student liaisons. Where you're pretty much getting to share your experience with the families and the students that come and visit our office. It's a very fun internship. Doesn't involve any math. Doesn't involve any science. All you need to do is be able to share your experience as a student. What it's like living on campus. What it's like being a business major. What's there to do on the weekends. You also have the opportunity, like they do, to travel with us to local fairs out here in Rochester and Buffalo and also in Syracuse. Anything you ladies want to say about the internship before we turn it over? No? Yay, nay? Yeah, go for it.
Well, as he said, it's not just like any ordinary internship, and that's what I like about it, because like you're yourself. You're speaking to students around our age and students who are coming in to the college and just sharing your experiences with them, and they may feel more comfortable because you're a student yourself, so that you guys can have more like one-to-one conversation and just really cordial, and it's fun.
And plus, if any of you are interested in getting involved in higher ed, it's a great way to kind of get some insight into an aspect of higher education. So,
on behalf of the alumni, we just wanted to give you a gift to say thank you for presenting. It kind of goes along with what you were saying we wanted to appreciate you and give you a little gift. So
appreciate it.
Yep, so enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you. Giving is going to continue because it's raffle time. All right. All right. Let's see here. So we got.
The raffle bag right there. How much should we record?
All right. So we got some. Yes. Who didn't get tickets? You want to hook them up with tickets, Jeff?